I should have picked that up from your surname.
Oh, hang on, I've got something here on my screen. Okay. It's just that you're...
Yeah. Good afternoon, Erika. Thank you very much for joining me for afternoon tea today.
Hi, Karen. Thank you for having me. It's such a privilege. I'm very blessed to be here. Thank you.
So my first question to you today is, what was your childhood like?
You know, I had a very happy childhood. I'm the youngest of 3 children. I have a brother who's 8 years older than me and a sister who's 5 years older than me. So I was literally the baby. And out of all the cousins as well, I'm the baby. So I was always very protected and looked after and spoiled. So yes, I had a good childhood. Thank you.
And did you enjoy school?
You know, I did enjoy school. I was involved in everything that I could possibly get my hands on, you know, whether it was sports, culture. I did a whole lot of singing, some acting, which I wasn't too great at, but I tried my hand at that. And when I was at primary school, I did every single sport that they were offering. So my poor mom was driving up and down to school and back for sports things and culture things, anything that was happening on or that was happening or going on, I was involved. So yes, I absolutely loved school. I just loved the fun of it and the freedom of it and the friendships that I had. Yeah, it was just great. I loved school.
Good. And what was your favorite subject at school?
You know, I thought about this one and I don't really know. I wouldn't say I had a favorite. I would say I had a favorite activity, which would have been choir. I loved singing in the school choir, and I also sang in our regional, our provincial choir, as we would call it at the time. For 3 years, I was blessed enough to tour overseas with them. So I went to Europe with them. And we competed at an international competition. That was way back when. But subjects, I think I would probably say maths. I mean, I wasn't great at it. I'm not a maths fundi, but I enjoyed it. It's weird because I'm not that great at it, but I enjoyed problem solving. And I think still today, I enjoy coming up with solutions, you know. In my business, I'm a virtual assistant and I do administrative work. And I'm always looking at ways that clients can do things quicker, easier, a process that's more logical to follow, that type of thing. So I really did enjoy maths for the problem solving side of it. I think that's what I would say.
Good. And were there any problems at school?
No.
So
my biggest problem was that I was way too busy. And my mom probably became more gray than she already was, just purely trying to juggle, because by the time I went to high school, so from the age of 14 to 17, 18, my brother and sister were already out of the home, married or working, you know, and completely independent. So I was basically an only child at home for my high school. And with me being so involved and so active with everything, my poor mom was like a taxi, just driving me from one place to the next, and I loved, and I think just to a certain degree, I'm still like that. If there's anything that I can get involved in, sometimes I've learned to say no, but I would say like a good couple of years ago, I would actually overcommit to stuff because I just enjoy so many things and I just love serving people that it's sometimes hard for me to say no, but I've learned to put more boundaries in place.
And so you left school, and I presume you already told us that you went to South Africa before the interview. You're living in South Africa. Did you live in South Africa all your childhood, apart from, okay. So did you go on to further education?
I did. I went to a local technical college and I finished my N5 Secretarial Diploma. So I got my National Diploma in Secretarial Diploma and I started working straight away. So I was in corporate from the age of 20. That's basically it.
Yeah. So you left school, you went into further education to do your secretarial course, you got a job. And how soon was it before you set up your own virtual assistant business?
You know, I think it was maybe too long. I spent 20 years in corporate and being mostly executive assistant to various directors, personal assistant to various directors. And in that time, I had my 2 daughters, and I always felt either guilty to be at work and not be able to be involved at their school or, you know, attend school things. Although I think 90% of the time, even when I was in corporate, I managed to do that. But you know that I'm always feeling guilty because I'm at work while they've got things on, or when I'm busy with their school activities or whatever may be going on, I'm feeling guilty because I know somewhere there's a manager or a colleague who's going, Erika's on leave again, you know, she's taken another half. And so at the end of 2012, I worked for a big corporate at the time, and the entire division that I was working in closed. So we all lost our jobs. And I thought to myself, this is the kick under my butt that God wants me to now go and do my own thing. That was the end of 2012. But I've always loved working with people. I've loved encouraging people. I'm a very good cheerleader. Give me 2 pom-poms and I'm there, and I will root for you to the end of days. And so I thought that personal coaching would be something that I would enjoy doing, which I did. I really, really loved it, but it just didn't take off as quickly as I would have liked it to. So I did certification in emotional training, emotional intelligence, so EQ, in 2013, started a training and coaching business that focused purely on emotional intelligence. And then in about 2017, I thought, let me just start this as like a side hustle, you know, help people with some admin tasks and things, because I've always thought that admin wasn't all that glamorous. You know, it's just, I'm very good at it, but it's always sort of the last person that gets invited to the client function or the staff function, because someone's got to answer the phones and keep the office running, you know. So I'd say about the end of 2017, the coaching thing it was going, but not as well as I would have liked it to. And then I started the Office Cog unofficially, if I could say that, as like a side hustle. And then in 2018, I did a whole rebranding for it, created a corporate brand, Erika brand for the Office Cog, with the help of an amazing design team. And the Office Cog was born in August 2018 and never looked back. So now what's great is even when I do some of my clients, I will do business etiquette training for their staff. And then I am able to incorporate the EQ stuff with that without them even knowing. They don't even realize I'm doing that. But it's just such a wonderful tool to have. And you as a coach, you'll know.
Yeah.
So it's lovely to be able to incorporate the corporate stuff, like the business etiquette things, with what actually makes people tick and why are they doing the things they're doing the way they are doing it.
That's
Yeah, so the Office Cog was born 2018, and I haven't looked back. It's been an amazing journey. It's just been so fulfilling because I'm able to work my own flexi hours. I can work as much and when and where I want to. And it's just been an amazing journey. I've loved every second of it.
Brilliant. And has the pandemic affected your business?
Yes, it definitely has.
Yeah.
In a positive way, it has affected my business in that people are now more open to using a virtual assistant. There's no longer the preconception that if you have a freelance secretary or a personal assistant, the person has to sit in the office next to you, because that's how it is in corporate. You sit in the office next to the executive, but now we can actually work remotely, which has been amazing. But it has affected my business in that in our initial lockdown in South Africa, which was at the end of March last year, my business just picked up. It was as if everyone were trying to get their stuff in order and they needed assistance. So I was there to help. And then I'm speaking about the South African market specifically, pertaining to my industry, well, my business, not necessarily even my industry. And then towards the end of last year, it was almost like when the second wave of the virus hit South Africa, so did it hit our businesses. And so I had some contracts cancelled. But then in about April, May, it picked up again. And what I found was, and that's always the advice that I give to new business owners, is you have to network and you have to stay in constant contact with your network. And it has to be authentic. I go into a networking session wanting to get to know people, not selling my work or the Office Cog as a business. It's, who are you, Karen? What makes you tick? How are you doing today? Especially in the times that we're living in right now. Through this pandemic, no one cares about your business. You want to know, is that person doing okay as a person? Because we are all people. And I found that just by doing that throughout, well, the Office Cogs from beginning to end, that has really helped me in good stead, because now people are coming back and going, okay, I'm picking up in business and I now need assistance, so please can you come and help, so it's definitely changed the face of virtual, especially in South Africa, because being a virtual assistant is so new, so new in South Africa. So yes, it's definitely helped my business by putting us on the map and saying it can actually be done. It's no longer you have to sit in the office next to your assistant. And I'm able to meet people like you guys from all over the world, which is amazing, and in the pandemic, I wouldn't even have thought of doing that prior to the pandemic, so it's been great. It's been sad, but it's been great.
And it's looking at the positives rather than focusing on the negatives.
Definitely.
And I think that is the way people that are successful and thriving are having to do, is focus on the positive.
because
in
it's
their
so
life.
easy to get bogged down by the negative, because
Oh,
it's
yeah,
everywhere.
That's
Everywhere
it.
you turn, you know, when you turn your phone on, when you turn your television on, when you go onto social media, it's just, yes, negativity and doom and gloom is everywhere. So
Yeah.
you have to make that choice, and I am going to have a positive attitude. I am going to make this work. I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to just be light, and, you know, to the people around me. That's what it's about. And the rest will follow.
That's
Honestly.
it. That's
Yeah.
it.
Mm.
So as you look back over your life, is there anything that you would have changed knowing what you know now?
If I had to speak to my 16-year-old self, yes, I would tell her to not be so naive and so gullible, and to just, you know, believe in herself, and not, I was so ignorant when I was younger, and I was so striving to make other people happy. And I wouldn't say I wasn't me, or authentically me. I definitely was, but I battled to say no, and to really just stand my ground, and just, if I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it, and I don't necessarily have to explain myself, you know. Where when I was young, like in my late teens, I was so nervous of hurting people's feelings, that I would sometimes say what I think they wanted to hear, and not necessarily that was in my heart.
Yeah.
So yes, I wouldn't change anything in my life. I mean, I believe that God has a path for you, and even if you don't follow His will in certain areas, He will use circumstances and events in your life to bring you back to where He wants you to be. And that's exactly my testimony. That's what's happened to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I wouldn't change anything in my life. I would just say to my younger Erika, just be yourself, and you don't always have to please everybody in your life. You can say no, and you can take a stand and just be yourself. Yeah, I think that would be it.
That's it. So how can anybody on the broadcast or who's listening to the recording help you?
I think from my side, I would like people to just be encouraged. So before I get to how can you help me, I would just like to encourage people to say, just believe in yourself, you know, and make sure that you do your research before you take on anything, and surround yourself with good people. Really surround yourself with people who believe in you, people who build you up, people who encourage you, people who you strive to be like. You know, it's wonderful for people to look up to you, but you also have to have people that you look up to, because how do you grow as a person if you don't, you know, if you don't strive to be better or more? Yeah, and I truly believe that you can do anything you put your mind to. I have two amazing daughters who are 22 and 20 years old, and I learn from them every day, because they're so brave, and they're so ambitious, and they're so motivated. And they actually encourage me to do that more, because I'm the mom, so I have to actually like be the front runner, you know. But yeah, so if people are helping me, I think, first of all, the situation that our country is in at the moment, that people can just pray for South Africa. We are going through a terrible, terrible time at the moment. You know, we're in the third wave of the pandemic, which is really taking a lot of lives, and people are getting really, really ill, and our health system is spread thin. And then with the protests and the unrest that's happening, you know, coinciding with that, it is really just, yeah, so just pray for the people of our country, that there'll be peace, and that people will just love each other again, because that's what makes our nation so great, is that we are able to get up and rebuild and grab each other's hands and stand up and, you know, make a difference.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the Office Cog, I mean, I would just love to even just have a discovery call with you. Let's just chat, you know, see where I can help you. What needs do you have? If it's a simple thing like a filing system that you're battling to wrap your head around, what would be the easiest way for you to organize that? Give me a call. You know, I'm happy to do a one-on-one discovery call at no cost at all. I'm happy to help. And yeah, so anything that people may need, whether it's putting documentation together, whether it's managing your time or your diary, what's the best way to do that? I'm happy to help and serve wherever the need is.
Mm-hmm. So if people do need your help, how can they get in touch with you?
Sure. Thank you, Karen. My email address is Erika, it's ERIKA @ the Office Cog. So obviously THEOFFICECOG.co.za. So it's Erika @ the Office Cog.co.za. If you forget that, you can use hello @ the Office Cog.co.za. That'll also get through to me. And then, yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, Erika Coetzee, the Office Cog. I'm on Instagram as the Office Cog, Facebook @ the Office Cog. So yeah, get in touch. I'd love to chat. And then I can send you my Calendly link and we can set up a meeting and let's just chat, have a conversation. I'd love that.
Brilliant. So have you got any questions you'd like to ask Mandy?
Hi. Yeah, I would like to ask you, Erika. Yeah, what is your plans for the future? Have you got any new projects which you're working on or whatever?
Thank you so much for asking, because I completely forgot about that. Yes, I do. I am wanting to offer clients more specific, what is the word I'm looking for? Solutions to their database management. So I am offering database management in that we coordinate all your databases, put it in as one global database, and then we can even automate it for you. So if it's, I'll give you an example. My one client has a training college. So we are putting together their database of the students. In there, we've got the students' birthdays, when they enrolled, when they their payments are due for courses, etc. And we automate reminders to you as the business owner to remind you that it's the person's birthday, or you know, this person hasn't paid, or this person hasn't submitted an assignment yet and the due date is tomorrow or whatever. We literally personalize it according to your needs. Another example is, for instance, if you have a cleaning company, for instance, who has different areas different areas that they have to clean, we can automate it so that the staff sends a message onto the app to you to say this bathroom has been cleaned, for instance. And if a bathroom has not been cleaned in, say, 3 hours, and it's supposed to be done every hour, then you get an automated message to say, click on bathroom 3, level 5, because it hasn't been cleaned. So anything relating to your staff, we can do, also relating to your customers. So if you want to personalize your clients' birthday messages, if you want to be reminded when the people's birthdays are, or, you know, if you need to send out newsletters, we automate all that for you. So anything that you need personal automation relating to a database, whether it's your staff, your clients, your suppliers, we do all that. So that's a new avenue that the Office Cog is going in, and that's very, very exciting for me, because it's paperwork is 1980s, and we need to get onto what's the future. And I really do believe that that's part of the future for virtual assistants, in my expertise.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mandy.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for joining me for afternoon tea today, Erika.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you for having me. It's such a privilege and an honor. Really, it is. Thank you so, so much.
Yeah, thank you.
It's very good.
Cool. Thank you, Mandy. And it was great